If your partner has terrible communication and when you need them the most, they shut down, they pull away, they get defensive, and then you're left feeling even more alone, then most likely you have what's called anxious attachment. And your partner has avoidant attachment. You definitely want to watch this video. So with an anxious attachment, these are the common pains and behaviors. For instance, the constant need for reassurance. Do you still love me? It comes with this idea that love is very finite and they can lose it at any time. Constant need for communication. Where are you? And this comes with feeling scared with the fear of losing their partner, losing that love. They're needing constant communication. Where are you? Knowing where your whereabouts are, when you're going to come, when you're going to leave. And when it comes to the communication, lots of text messaging. They'll text a lot. And if you don't text them back within 5-10 minutes, then their fear and anxiety increases substantially, which leads into the fear of abandonment. Don't leave me. And this abandonment goes very deep into childhood. All this stuff is learned from childhood. They also have hypervigilance. And that looks like being very aware of someone changing emotional moods, knowing the tiny inflections in their tonality, and it also changes in their behavior patterns. They're very good at spotting liars or people who might betray them. That's one of their gifts, but it also comes from fear and trauma. Another gift that comes with that is superhero memory. They're just really good at memorizing everything. Where most people might forget lunch that they ate yesterday or 2 days ago, they'll remember it. And then lastly, being attracted to emotionally unavailable people. It's not just romantic partners, it can also be friendship as well, which is interesting because their very need for all of these things, they are attracted to the people that cannot give them that very well. And so it's really just a recreation of their childhood and their anxious attachment. Essentially, they're attracted to the opposite of anxious attachment, which is people that have avoidant attachment. So where does all of this come from? That's right, childhood. One or both parents were unpredictable and explosive. And so when you have parents that you don't know when they're going to give you your emotional or physical needs, that creates a lot of fear and anxiety. If they're explosive, that also creates more anxiety. Emotionally absent. One or both parents were emotionally absent. That means even if they had their basic needs of food and shelter and clothes, if they did not have that emotional connection with their parents, it can create a lot of anxiety and fear because that emotional connection is what really ensures survival more so than the physical needs. Physical and or emotional abuse. With parents that are abusive, that can also look like, let's say if the child is throwing a tantrum or wanting emotional connection, and the parent might respond with abuse, either criticizing the child, putting them down, pushing them away, isolating them, putting them on timeout, locking them in the room. Stuff like this can magnify the sense of abandonment. Experiencing a sibling get more love, right? Or just experiencing their parents give someone else more love than them can cause a lot of anxiety and fear and jealousy that will bleed into adulthood. Emotions were too much. Oftentimes, children that develop anxious attachment, their parents just did not know how to deal with their own emotions, and they definitely did not know how to deal with the child's emotions. And so the child was invalidated for their emotions often, again, creating more feelings of abandonment. And so all of these childhood pains which create anxious attachment would create an unstable foundation for healthy relationships. And so in order to have healthy relationships, you got to heal these emotional wounds. And that can look like doing things like inner child work. Inner child work is reconnecting back to the inner child, the child inside you, that's inside everybody that needed emotional safety and love that did not get. So learning how to soothe that inner child, learning how to process those underlying emotions from that hurt child inside, from that trauma, somatic awareness and release, learning how to be in tune with your body, your nervous system. All of these fears and all of these behaviors and all these traumas or wounds are experienced in the body. And so be able to connect back into the body, feel safe in the body, get in touch with uncomfortable emotions and learn to feel them and release them is very, very important, which also leads to parenting the self. Basically, learning to become the healthy parent to yourself that your parents were not capable of, to be able to give yourself that safe space to feel your emotions, be with your emotions, to validate yourself, to help yourself feel seen. All the things that you're craving from someone else is learning to give that to yourself. Breathwork, very powerful for, again, the somatic part, which is the emotional processing, emotional releasing, connecting to the breath and being more embodied. And then lastly, a support system. We cannot heal alone. Having a support system, working with a coach, being in a group support to help reinforce patterns, these new behaviors, to do this emotional processing. This stuff is not easy at all. It's scary, it can be painful and hard, and to have someone that you can have support with is extremely critical to this healing process. This healing process is a journey that I guide clients through. And if you want to work with me and join my group coaching, visit my profile link or just follow me for more content.